Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of What's Tea Tuesday. It's our March edition. Welcome back from spring break. Hope everybody had a wonderful and safe time. Our guest will be joining us very soon. Give her a few minutes to get on, and we'll get started. Yes. So, as you can see, the title for today's What's Tea Tuesday is Elevating Thyself. We'll have a special guest, HBCU grad, joining us. She's a business owner, cosmetologist, all those great things. And we will be getting started shortly. Make sure you grab your cup of tea for the aesthetic. Yeah. Let's see. All right, here she goes, guys. Let's let her in. Hi.
Oh,
Happy Tuesday.
girl.
How's it going?
It's going well. I have my tea. Well, I've already been sipping today.
Oh, I see.
So, I'm going to finish the remnants of that.
Okay, cute. Awesome. Sounds good. Yes, so welcome everybody. Welcome to the March edition of West Tea Tuesday. Our title today is Elevating Thyself. So, we love to take ourselves to the next level and whatnot. But I'll
Yeah.
let Emery introduce herself before we get started, and yeah, we'll jump into it.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Emery Nicole, last name Dunn. I go by Emery Nicole on majority of my social media platforms. I am a licensed hair care professional. I specialize in natural hair, braids, extensions, and I do hair in the Cary area. I've been licensed since 2014. But before that, I definitely went to college. I went to North Carolina Central University. I major in criminal justice. Do I want to use that degree? No. But I have a desire. No, but it absolutely had a major impact into where I am today. It also afforded me the lovely opportunity to meet this beautiful woman you see on this live in front of you, Aurora. Okay?
Yes.
But yes, and I'm married and I have two girls. I have a 2-year-old and a 12-year-old. 10 years apart. So yes.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction. We're very excited to, have some tea from you today and whatnot. So
Hmm.
we'll just get started with a little bit about, I guess, like how your college experience has impacted who you are today.
My college experience has made a major impact where I am today. It's also where I got my start doing hair. So I went to Central at the start in the fall of 2009. I was about to say 2019. In 2009. And towards the end of my freshman year, going into my sophomore year, I really started to dabble in doing hair on the side. So I was a braider then. So I started off as a braider. And at that point in time, I had no interest to do hair. Like I mentioned before, majored in criminal justice. I enjoyed my college experience thoroughly. Outside of learning curriculum, I was also able to find a piece of myself, meet with people,
Hmm.
grow. I danced. Like, if anyone on this live attended Central and heard about house arrest, I had some days where I did with house arrest.
I did not know that.
Really?
Wow. No, it's crazy.
And it's crazy. Like, I don't think I share that much because
Mm-hmm.
I like to dance. Like, I dance a lot. And that's actually part. That's some of the, or I would say that's part of the reason of how I met Desmond. Because he danced for Underground Legends as well. So my freshman year, I told myself to get outside of my comfort zone and to do what scared me. And I tried out for house arrest. I met some beautiful people in that process. And then it was my senior year when I decided, not my senior year, my sophomore year when I decided to
Mm-hmm.
join Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. But I would say the most pivotal piece for me out of my college years was my senior year. And I've always worked. I definitely agree that I have a strong work ethic because while in
Mm-hmm.
college, I worked as a CA. So basically, I worked the front desk in the dorms. I worked in retail at Home Goods, and I also did hair on the side. So it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
easy for me to juggle several different things. But my senior year, I interned with Raleigh PD. and I think I was with them maybe 4 to 5 months, and I was able to get like a good understanding of what the police force entailed, and a moment where I was like, this is not for me. Even at that time, I was young. I want to say I was about 20 or 21. And you're like, how you think about life is different in that time. But one of my takeaways was I don't remember where I was, but I was sitting in a moment and I was like, you know, do you see yourself dressing up in the same uniform every day? And at that point in time, that might have been like a shallow thought. Like, no. And I think that's where I first began to like uncover the layer of me being a creative. Because I mean, college helps you along your journey. It helps you are. And so I wouldn't change anything about my story. Like, that's how I got my start. So I interned with Raleigh PD, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. And then after that, directly after I graduated from Central, I applied to hair school at Palmer. Yeah.
Wow. So you got a criminal justice degree, haven't used it since you got it. But you don't think, of course, that college was a waste because it gave you opportunity to explore who you were and meet great people. You met your husband, all those great things. So I think the biggest thing that I can take away from what you just said is that regardless of where you are in the moment, I guess maybe if you're a sophomore, senior, and you're still kind of confused, like it's okay to be confused and not know what the end is going to be, like what the end outcome is going to be, because it's still time.
Absolutely. And when you reached out to me, wanting me to speak on that, I can only speak on with what resonates with me and my, and even with doing hair, in the beginning, when I started doing hair full time, majority of my clientele base were college students. So those were the first people to get a front row seat in my story or my advice or my wisdom. And I tell a lot of my girls to just take it easy. Like, I know when being in college, and I would say coming from high school, you think, or I was thinking that college was kind of like the final destination. Like, when I finish, I will know exactly what I want to do. I'm going to have a job in my field that, you know, encompasses all the things under my degree. And that's not reality sometimes.
Right.
So when I'm speaking with them, or even to this day, I'm saying, you know, just definitely take the time to fully bask in the college experience. You know, you don't want to be in your books too much to where you miss socialization, but you definitely, you know, you're not trying to show up at every 10:40 break, you know, and not go afterwards.
Right.
But I definitely, with any person who's on here who may be in college or transitioning out, it is completely okay to finish college and still not know if you want to work in the field that you have a degree for, because that helps you peel back layers of figuring out what works for you. But I listened to the live that you did with Sharonda, and made a lot of good points. And one thing that stuck out with me most is when she said, just like at that point in time when you first finish college, that is the safest time to take a risk, because all you have to do is worry about yourself and what you need. And me applying to hair school was a big deal for me. My husband has played like a major role in, like, he's the behind the scenes guy. So when I'm going to talk to him about certain things, he'll reassure me. He's absolutely a devil's advocate, and he doesn't tell me what I want all the time. He tells me what I need. So in that moment, I'm going to him like, I want to go to hair school, but I'm scared. What is this like? And he was like, do it. And I'm like, but what if? And what if? And to this day, like, I'm so excited that I leaped, that I jumped, and I did that. Because it made any other jump after that easier to take.
Right. Love that. Love that. That's awesome. Okay, so I guess we can like kind of talk through the steps that you would take to elevate yourself. So you went to college, got a degree. We're kind of like confused about which direction you want to go in. Then you went to hair school. And so what are the steps that you took to kind of get where you are today as a successful business owner and hairstylist?
Okay, so I feel as a successful business owner and of course a hairstylist, I don't think I would be as successful without being in tune with myself or myself, entrepreneurship definitely allowed me to pay attention to what my strengths were, but
Mm-hmm.
what my weaknesses were. And sometimes, you know, I think we can kind of get into a thing not realizing what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
There were different stages in my career where I had to just have like tough conversations with myself and call myself on the carpet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but one thing I can say that I prided myself on was understanding the importance of time. So
Mm-hmm.
everything with how I book my clients out down to their service times. Like I always timed myself because I knew that was a strength of mine, and
Mm-hmm.
I built on that. I paid a lot of attention to people that I was working around, and I took things that I really liked and I took them and
Mm-hmm.
made them myself, and things that I recognized weren't serving me or wouldn't work for my business model, I kind of tossed out. And I think it's definitely important to be mindful of who you're surrounded with, especially
Mm-hmm.
like your friends and everything that you build relationships with in college, because I feel, and I referenced this last night when I was on Clubhouse, but I am nothing without my community. Like I
Mm-hmm.
am something, absolutely,
Yeah.
to have reinforcement or be able to go and talk to certain people, to have people hold me accountable, to have people push me forward in the moment
Mm-hmm.
where I'm doubting myself. Like
Yeah.
things absolutely matter. And also, as much as the successes are major, those, and I'm not going to say failures, but those lessons that we learn in private, or those moments where we felt, I really thought I was going to like really hit the mark. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that didn't really go how I thought. So it's just
Right.
building yourself up, having to shift your perspective and
Mm-hmm.
understand, you know, things aren't happening to me, they're happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of my journey, or in the beginning of that space of where you graduate, no one really talks about that.
They
So
don't. It's
no,
like really, it's really scary. Like it's really
it
scary.
really is scary. I equate it to like a form of nakedness, because it's,
Yeah.
you graduate, and you know, normally when we finish a year of college, we're expected, you know, we going back, we getting that same momentum, that
Mm-hmm.
energy. So when I graduated my senior year and August was rolling around, I'm like, so
What's next?
what
Like what's next?
what's next? So that's why I wanted to reference too. I think it's really great that the department that you're working in
Mm-hmm.
at Howard really provides this opportunity to the students. Just because I know what that would have done for me to hear
Mm-hmm.
someone 2 years older than me saying, "Hey," to what Danny Lee say, "Take it easy."
Well, not you on here singing. I'm crying.
But no, for real, really take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and be proud of yourselves in those moments, even when you don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
or you know what your next move is going to be, because it
Mm-hmm.
will align, everything will come together. um but yeah, I feel I answered that well.
I think so as well.
Okay.
It was lovely. Okay, so let's kind of dive back into the scary part of like that uncertainty and not knowing what's next. So like what is something that helped you, so you went to hair school and then what was your next step after that?
Okay, this is a good question. So I went to hair school, and the program was 10 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we're closing in on, I would say, month 11, and I finished my program in 12 months. So we're at month 11. I'm like, oh man, like, what are you going to do? Do you want to go to a commission salon? Me,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere where I can just go and be an employee, and they
Mm-hmm.
take care of payroll, education,
Okay.
all of that? Or are you going to do booth rent? So booth,
Mm-hmm.
me supplying everything myself. And basically I eat what I kill. If I don't
Mm-hmm.
eat one that day, I don't make any money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have no problem with being a student. I have no problem with sitting under someone and learning what I need to know. And I was going to try and take the commission route, but where I lived with my mom during that time, still
Mm-hmm.
starting. neighbor, she owned a salon, and I was just telling her, because I used to shampoo in her salon when
Mhm.
I was in high school. Yes, I shampooed hair in high school.
You did it all.
I was telling her basically what I was thinking, and she was like, "No, you have talent. I definitely feel that you can thrive on your own, and if you want to come and rent a booth at my salon, you can."
Hmm.
I was like, "Okay." So I betted on myself. Still scary.
Hmm.
Um, I was having conversations with my friends and Desmond, and I was just like, people who are booking me out now are booking me out on limited availability. So would
Hmm.
people me if I do this full time? And he was like, absolutely.
Hmm.
And I tell y'all, that was that was the best decision I could have ever made. You definitely learn business, like
Hmm.
real business that way. It's kind of like a crash course. And
Hmm.
at age and making that amount of money was just mind blowing. Like
Hmm.
I dove in head first. It was to the point to where I was enjoying doing hair so much that I would be in the salon sometimes 7 days a week because
Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness! Wow, that's a
I'm like,
lot.
I don't have nothing else to do but like go
Hmm.
out, hang out with girlfriends or be with my man. And I'm like, shoot, let me go get this Betty a little bit. So
Hmm.
I definitely appreciate it for that. It definitely nursed the drive that was already in me, but it was
Hmm.
definitely scary. There were definitely days where I was supposed to have clients and like
Hmm.
had to cancel or things come up and I had to readjust. But
Hmm.
mhm.
Okay.
I
And
think I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I think someone asked a question in the comments.
Let's see.
Let's see. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
All right.
Okay, so I guess diving more into the entrepreneurship aspect. So, what kind of what is stepping stones for you to actually get the business up and running off the ground?
Okay. This is pertaining to like the actual physical salon.
Yes.
Okay. So I have been doing hair 2 years, I think 2.5 years booth rent before
Mm-hmm.
I opened my own hair salon. The salon was located in Durham, North Carolina on 9th Street. And I'll be completely transparent about that process. It was, if you could go on an emotional roller coaster, like that, that whole year of prep work, of getting, like, writing out a business plan, forecasting business numbers for
Mm-hmm.
5, like, I'm writing out some numbers that I would love to make, but
Mm-hmm.
having to go through the details of writing that out. And we did apply for business funding. And I definitely would tell anyone, if anyone is on here and wants to open their own business, it is very beneficial to use someone else's money as opposed to using your own. And
Mm-hmm.
in that process, I definitely had conversations with a few people because I think sometimes as people of color, we feel like we can boss up if we can use our own money, but it's
Mm-hmm.
beneficial to leverage someone else's money so you can use that to fund your business and save your money for rainy days and things like that. So
Right.
I got a loan for business funding. One blessing was that the property was already a salon before, so
Okay.
everything was cosmetic. We just painted the walls, added
Mm-hmm.
more poles, changed furniture around. But if I could do anything differently in that time, and I normally don't like have any regrets or anything about my
Mm-hmm.
story. It's a regret, but I definitely would have been more vocal in my building process.
Okay.
As I would say, I'm like, uh, I was the first true risk taker in my
Mm-hmm.
immediate family. So when you're doing that, you don't really know what you have resources to, and then sometimes you hear a lot of you don't share nothing until it's done. You don't share
Mm-hmm.
done. And if I could go back in time, I definitely would have let more people in. So it would have helped build my process. So when it was time to share my business with the world, more people would have known.
Yeah.
Um, I don't beat myself up about that because I genuinely understand where my headspace was during that time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very emotional. You hear on social media the discussion of, as an entrepreneur, you'll have your peak moments like, I am killing
Mm-hmm.
this money, and then you'll have some times where it's like, I don't did I make the right decision? And
Mm-hmm.
you could take that example and times it by 10 and going up and down.
Oh goodness, yeah.
That,
Mm-mm.
you know, that's a lot, and then enough to believe in yourself to still push your vision forward. It's a lot that comes with that, and I would say I'm never going to tell anyone, or if someone comes to me and say, "Hey, I want to be an entrepreneur," and I say, you know, do that, absolutely
Mm-hmm.
do that, but be open to the process, because entrepreneurship is a reflection of you. Like when people
Mm-hmm.
say, I want to be in business for myself. You really are in business for yourself, but that
Mm-hmm.
just means the business. That means this, you being an entrepreneur is going to highlight things that you also need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And open to learning on the process. So yeah, that year, that first year of opening a salon. Oh, also I didn't mention we were planning our wedding too.
Oh
The same
goodness.
time.
Oh
Yes.
goodness, that's a lot.
Yes, that was a lot. Yeah, looking back at it now, some things you go through and you don't realize, like the tenacity
Mm-hmm.
that you have. And looking back at it, I was 26 doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my gosh, woo, girl, you
That's
think
overwhelming. That's overwhelming, definitely.
it,
So I guess now looking back on that time, how have you seen yourself grow from the time you started your business to now?
I've seen myself grow leaps and bounds. So the salon was open for 3 years. We closed the salon in 2019, in December of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Had two business models. The first business model we went with was booth rent, but I always knew I wanted a commission based salon, because
Mm-hmm.
the way I wanted the structure to be presented was I wanted everything to flow well and it to be
Mm-hmm.
vision.
Okay.
Um, so we did pivot the business model to, you see what I did there? Let me
Mm-hmm.
stop.
Pivot. Mm-hmm. That's cute. That's cute. Mm-hmm. That was cute. I caught it.
We did pivot the business model to commission.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what came with commission was learning how to manage people. And at that point in time, when we did that, my husband was a manager at Enterprise. So
Mm-hmm.
he was telling me just different managing styles and how to communicate with people.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to managing staff and taking care of payroll and ordering products, like
Mm-hmm.
I had to make sure that I was showing up the best way that I could every day
Mm-hmm.
at work. And that is a lot. When, especially in the first 3 to 5 years of growing your business,
Mm-hmm.
are a lot, there's a lot of texture in that. And I already understood going into it, you don't really turn a profit until 4 or 5 years down the line.
Wow.
So it was so many things that I was working through. I could communicate with one way for a stylist, but I can't communicate the same way
Mm-hmm.
with the next person.
Right.
Knowing to cater my delivery. So, because I'll be completely honest, I'm very vocal, I'm very bold. Sometimes it comes off the cuff, and you
Mm-hmm.
do that with everyone. And
Right.
and that and those and during that time, I really learned that it's more important for to hear me the way that they need to hear me so the message can get across, as
Mm-hmm.
being right. And because I'm the owner, you have to listen to me. So with all of that, I really learned great communication skills. And I think sometimes people equate being able to open a business to knowing how to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different things. And
Yeah.
entrepreneurship would definitely show you your strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
No issue if you are someone who wants to open a business and you aren't in a space of where you can address the public. Hire
Mm-hmm.
someone for that
Yeah.
until you're able to handle that. So now, me as a woman, we've downsized to a suite, and I'm in here. All I have to do is take care of my staff. So as
Mm-hmm.
a woman, um, who's learned all those things, I'm so thankful that I have that now,
Mm-hmm.
just because I can foster the environment I want to create in the suite a little more intimately, because I
Mm-hmm.
understand, okay, I can't talk to you like this, but I can give it to you like this, and you're
Right.
taken care of. And it transcends or translates into different areas of my life. So
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm dealing with someone and I'm not liking the way they're coming off, or
Mm-hmm.
friction there, I know how to tailor the conversation to present the information as it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. Let's see.
You're glad.
Okay, so oh, thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Um, so I guess in like now that you're here, you're a business owner, successful business owner. What
Okay.
are ways that you're continuing to like make sure you're always learning and growing as a person, as an individual, and as an entrepreneur?
Oh, okay. So we're going to talk about this Panasonic that we still in right
Oh
now.
God, the panoramic.
But 2020, it 2020 definitely taught me a lot about myself. I was thankful to be able to sit home for 3 to 4 months to reflect and not have anything
Mm-hmm.
to do. And that definitely prepared me and kind of allowed me to dig a little deeper in areas that I need to work on. And one
Mm-hmm.
of those things that I sat with was, naturally, if we get into a position and we kind of evaluate ourselves and see how we're doing, and I can be real with myself, like, girl, you can put your foot on the gas a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And, we'll tend to ask God or whoever you worship for more. And it's like, sis, what did you do with what you have right here?
Right.
So before I get ahead of myself and I know that I want to do more things, I'll ask myself, hey, this was something that you marked out that you wanted to work on. You worked
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit and then you left it and then you're asking for more. No, let's go
Mm-hmm.
visit that idea that you kind of left astray over there. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's just firmer accountability and maximizing the resources that I have right now. Because I think a lot of the time, we kind of tend to look at new endeavors as like a new opportunity to start something when
Mm-hmm.
you have so much already that you can work on and grow,
Yeah.
or generate, so that can be passive income for you. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what I've been more intentional with. So before I start picking up too many things, I need to look at kind of what I have already, or
Mm-hmm.
even in my resource bank, like who can I connect with that maybe I can partner with someone on this so I don't have to take this on all myself.
That's great. I really do resonate with that a lot because I something I really dwell on nowadays is like my higher being is not going to elevate me to the next point until he trusts me or thinks I'm responsible enough to receive more. So I really resonate with that a lot. I just think it's really important to entrepreneur or 9 to 5, whatever you're doing in your life, like make sure you're handling what you have right now before you move on to the next point, because you might get to the next point and can't handle all the stuff that's being thrown at you. So that's very important.
That is
Very
very,
important.
even the fact that you acknowledge that for yourself, like let's just kind of sit there in that moment and say like, hey, I really like thought about that and I recognize that that's like something I need to strengthen that muscle a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you recognize that, like always operate in grace for yourself
Yeah.
area. And I think sometimes like if we feel like, okay, I figured this out, I mastered that, okay, I know that's what I need to work on, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll and go to something else. No, still go back to that, revisit that, and even slow progress is
Mm-hmm.
still progress.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think sometimes we negate that. And I also have been sharing a lot with clients or girlfriends, even if we have goals that we're trying to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, for example, for me, like I have been itching to get back in the gym, and
Mm-hmm. Woo.
girl,
The gym. The gym. Woo.
great that I want to be back in the gym. I see myself in there throwing up around weights I used to throw around
Mm-hmm.
years ago. I'm not in that space of life right now. So fitness for me may mean bringing my goals down a little bit smaller so I can conquer them easier. So
Mm-hmm.
I can commit to a 30-minute jog and
Mm-hmm.
an ab workout. That don't mean I'm not making no progress.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks a little different. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. And I'll even take it back to like just being a college student. Like it's okay if you don't get that internship, and it's okay if you don't get into that organization, whatever the case may be, because it wasn't meant for you. And like whatever is meant for you will always be there when it's supposed to be there. So that's something that I think a lot of college students struggle with, or something that I saw as a college student is that we beat ourselves up so much, we get so disappointed in ourselves for not fulfilling what we thought we were supposed to fulfill, but it really wasn't meant for us. So
That is That's very true. And, saying that, and I'm thinking about my experience at North Carolina Central University. And even though we have those moments or we think about that, I'm so
Mhm.
thankful I went to an HBCU.
Mhm.
So thankful that I went to Central because the environment was warm. Like when I think
Mhm.
about the criminal justice department, they really took care of us. The department was so intimate. They got into you like they would if they was your aunt, or
Yeah.
because they want to see the best for you. But I think sometimes because college happens so fast,
Mhm.
I don't think we have enough time to really appreciate what that was. Like if you went to an HBCU, think about if you will ever encounter a time of being centered around so many Black people, to experience games, to, you know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
all of that is so warm. So to any college students who are on here, if you go to an HBCU, perfect. If you go to a PWI, great. Just give yourself so much grace. Know that you
Yeah.
are so young and you have so much time to accomplish everything you want to accomplish. You have so many years to try stuff and not work out and try something new. So yeah, that's
Oh, we said what's the tea this Tuesday? The tea is about elevating yourself. We have, let's do like a run back real quick, just a little quick review. So we have Emery on here. She's a business owner, entrepreneur, cosmetologist, HBCU grad. She's giving us some tea about the process after college, about getting to where you want to be in life, and just the steps she took to get to where she is now as a successful business owner herself. So
thank
that's
you.
the tea this Tuesday. We're still going to have a few good little conversation left, but that's the tea. Thank y'all for still joining. If you have questions, feel free to pop in. We will address those. But yeah, we'll keep it going.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my favorite question to ask anybody. What's one piece of advice you would have given yourself, your college self?
Whew, that is a good question.
Take your time. Take your time.
Let me think.
Mm-hmm.
To spend more time like with myself. I think when you're in that space of life and when you're in college, it's so much going on. You're stimulated in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a lot of, even though I worked and I was in different organizations and activities, you still can have enough time to do things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would have spent more time getting to know me. I would have done a few more things. Like I had short hair in undergrad. I cut my hair in January of, was it 2000? It was 2010, January 2010. I would have
Mm-hmm.
rocked my shortcut a little longer. Just get creative. I think sometimes when we think about spending alone time with ourselves, I think it kind of gives like a daunting umbrella because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
why you want to be by yourself? You don't have no,
Right.
you should enjoy being by yourself. You uncover so many things by being by yourself. So maybe if I would have spent more time alone, I would have actually searched and found more things I wanted to get involved in. And just really take myself out of my comfort zone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely would have sat in the room, probably cooked me a nice little dinner, had that for my candle,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I did a lot my senior year and then going into graduate school, was spending more time with myself, because I realized, like, well, me, I was like, very much a social butterfly. So it was hard for me to like not be around people. But I realized, like, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing or like where I'm going next. So I probably should talk to myself a little bit about it and figure out what I'm doing here, because college is like, it's like a rush. Like, it's so much going on around you. It's so much fun stuff. It's so much freedom. And so you
Mm-hmm.
just want to try everything, and you kind of just get overwhelmed and in over your head a little bit sometimes. So it's important to like kind of date yourself a little bit, like
Absolutely.
do things alone.
Yes. And I will say I started dating myself more after college. So I was like
Hmm.
almost a year into doing hair full time, and I journal a lot. So I
Hmm.
would take my prayer journal with me and I would go out to eat. I remember specifically, I was like, I'm gonna take my prayer journal, I'm gonna go sit at the bar at Dame's, I'm gonna eat by myself, I'm gonna thoughts, and I'm gonna have me a drink. And was that foreign? Absolutely. Did I feel
Hmm.
like it was gonna be looking at me weird? Like, why you out to eat by yourself? Because that's what I used to do if I saw
Hmm.
somebody by themselves.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's so liberating. I feel
Hmm.
the first few times are like awkward and uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Get comfortable with being by yourself. It's like a retreat, you
It's
know.
very nice. Yeah.
I would, and to this day, I still do stuff by myself, married and all. I'll take a staycation by
Uh-huh.
myself. I like to go to the movies by myself. You know, I enjoy those things.
I agree. But I think it's definitely not like something people normalize in college, like, oh, you want to hang out alone, like you're lame, or things of that nature. But I think that's like one of the biggest keys to like really elevating yourself is to like learn who you are, because you can't really go to the next level until
Mhm.
you know what you're doing right now. So I
Yeah.
love dating myself. It's definitely made me grow a lot in life. Open my eyes to a lot of things I didn't know about myself, which is like super amazing. So I definitely am an advocate for it.
Yes. Yes.
Let's see. So I guess to kind of get close to wrapping up, what is like the next step for you, like in I guess as a business owner, like what are you looking to do with your business and just your brand and whatnot?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question because I'm literally like in the middle of that or in
Hmm.
phases. Um, and I extremely
Sorry, I have an airplane flying over my house right now. I apologize.
like, is
Okay.
that a
I think it's a helicopter. I'm not sure. Who knows
okay?
what's going on these Baltimore streets.
Oh yeah. But I am exploring different ways to scale my business so my income can be more passive. Um,
Okay.
I definitely feel I'm on the cusp of trying to firmly create a lifestyle, um, and basically to where my business has to work around my lifestyle and
Hmm.
that I value. So because like let's say like I don't see myself behind the chair forever. I don't
Hmm.
want standing and laboring. Sorry if my clients on here and y'all hear me. But no, in actuality, like I don't see myself being behind a chair forever. So I
Hmm.
have to ask myself and work backwards and write down like, okay, what does that look like for you? So are you going to
Hmm.
start this business venture? About how long will about how long will that take to get there? So I would say possibly consulting.
Okay.
I would love to do that with my husband because I'm gonna be completely honest, like everything about numbers and how I understand to pay attention to certain peak seasons and low seasons and
Hmm.
everything, like he's mentored me in that. So I would love to collaborate with him and do business consulting. I would love to get into maybe some form of virtual education, whether that's for clients or for
Hmm.
so that's what I'm looking at. And then I will be completely honest. I'm new to the podcasting industry. So
Hmm.
I have a podcast. It's called Free Game with Emery Nicole, and you can find it on all podcast streaming platforms.
Thank you for
Apple
that
Pod.
plug.
Yes, and you can watch it on YouTube as well on
Oh
the letter
yes.
INTV. Okay.
Love it.
I'm really enjoying speaking. Like even this now is fun
Hmm.
for me. So I want to explore this as well. I definitely want to see what I can get into in some form of media or what have you. So yeah. Mhm.
Okay, and we'll just end with any wisdom you want to leave for our Howard University students or any other college students that are on here right now. Just some wisdom for them as they embark on their adult life and post graduation.
Okay. So what I will say is lately, or I would say over the course of the past few weeks, I have been thinking, and just because like a lot of healing has been taking place with me, and I am the change that I want to see in the world. Like that may sound so cliche, but I began to realize when I start like facing my own traumas and dealing with things that were making me uncomfortable, I began to see relationships with certain people around me blossom in different ways. And even how in a space of doing what you need to do for you, you're
Hmm.
absolutely serving others. And I know sometimes we kind of look to friends or whoever we're around at the time who holds some space in our heart to kind of curate how we feel about ourselves. But once I began to understand, I can only control Emory and I can only control my actions. And knowing
Mm-hmm.
that control over that, that in turn, like, branches out to other people. So if you're someone who you're wishing, dang, I wish someone would create blah, 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 or
Right.
I wish I had such and such. Maybe you just supposed to be the individual that do it.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, baby.
Yes, it sure is. It sure is. Well, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. I hope everybody got something to take away from today. It was absolutely amazing. And we would love to have you back, another time as well to talk more to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think I tagged you on the post. If you guys want to follow her, please feel free to do so. Wait, let me just drop your ad name in the comments.
Okay. And thank you, everyone. I've been reading those comments. Thank you, Pam, for plugging the information on the podcast. Thank you for everyone who joined and watched. I greatly appreciate it.
It's Emory Nicole Dunn, right?
Well, what for the Instagram?
Yeah.
It's just Emory Nicole.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then if you want to plug the hair page, let me. Did you no?
Oh wait, did I?
There.
Which one did I do? I
You
did the
did.
regular. Okay.
That's
Okay.
fine. So, and even if you want to find my hair page, if you go to my personal profile, you'll see the page information in the bio. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. I love you to the moon and back.
Alrighty. I love you as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. See you all. Everyone
Have a happy Tuesday.